Have you felt that subtle shift? The pickle jar that won't budge, the stairs that feel a little steeper, the simple act of getting up off the floor that now requires a plan. It's the quiet whisper that your own body is slowly turning against you. What I'm about to reveal will contradict much of what you've accepted about aging and physical decline. Watch this to the very end. The final principle I'll share is what fundamentally shifted my understanding of human vitality and has the potential to rewrite the future for anyone who feels that time is an enemy. The unspoken truth is this: a vast majority of older adults are silently battling a condition known as sarcopenia. Think of it as a slow leak in your strength, draining your independence drop by drop. But here is the critical piece of information that often gets lost. This is not a one-way street. We have been conditioned for generations to see muscle loss as an unavoidable tax on living longer. Yet, a wave of new science tells a story that is not only different but profoundly empowering. What if I told you the single most powerful time to protect your strength, the strength you've earned over a lifetime, is the handful of hours before your head hits the pillow, and that a few specific foods eaten in this window could radically slow or even begin to reverse the decay that makes life's simple pleasures feel like chores? I've dedicated the last 15 years to bridging the gap between ancient Eastern longevity practices and modern Western scientific breakthroughs. And the insights I gained about nighttime nutrition changed the game for my senior clients. I think of a woman, we'll call her Margaret, who came to one of my workshops at 72, leaning heavily on a walker. She was convinced her best days were a distant memory. 6 months after starting the exact bedtime protocol I will detail for you, she phoned me, her voice thick with emotion. She had just walked 3 miles around a lake, unassisted. "I feel like I've been handed a second chance at life," she said. "Tonight I'm sharing the 4 specific foods that, when eaten before you sleep, signal your body to enter a state of maximum muscle preservation." This isn't about fancy powders or restrictive diets. It's about syncing with your body's innate repair cycles and giving it the precise raw materials it needs during the most vital restorative period, your sleep. We've been told a flawed story. Before I lay out the foods, you must grasp why the standard advice on aging and muscle is so dangerously incomplete. The common narrative says that after age 50, you're doomed to lose 1 to 2% of your muscle mass annually, with the slide steepening after 70. This story benefits a system that profits from our weakness, from walkers to prescription pads, but it conveniently ignores what pioneering longevity researchers are now proving. The reality is a dynamic dance between hormones, inflammation, and, most importantly, a breakdown in protein synthesis. As we age, our body's ability to use protein to repair and sustain muscle tissue becomes less effective, dropping by around 30% by the time we're 65. But here's the key that changes everything. That inefficiency isn't constant. The most significant drop-off happens while you're asleep. This is why the generic advice to just eat more protein is a massive failure. It's not just about how much you eat, but when you eat it and what you combine it with. Sleep is your body's primary repair shift. If the right tools aren't on hand, your body can't patch up the tiny tears and stresses that muscles endure every day. Instead of rebuilding, you get a slow, nightly demolition, one microscopic fiber at a time, night after night. I saw this exact pattern in seniors who were doing everything right, exercising, eating well, getting enough protein, yet they were still getting weaker. Then, I came across groundbreaking studies from Japan's National Institute of Longevity Sciences. They were exploring a concept they called nighttime muscle amnesty. Their results blew the lid off conventional thinking and pointed to an answer that was hiding right in our kitchens. What unfolds in your body during sleep is a biological masterpiece. While your mind rests, trillions of cells are in overdrive, repairing DNA, flushing out metabolic waste, and rebuilding you from the inside out. But this entire operation depends on having specific building materials and a crew of activators ready to go. Without them, it's like dispatching a construction crew to a job site with no lumber, no concrete, and no tools. The master foreman of this job is human growth hormone, which surges during deep sleep. This hormone orchestrates muscle repair, but it's powerless without the right nutritional support. This is where the revelation lies. Certain foods, when eaten before bed, essentially turn on the floodlights at the construction site and hand the crew exactly what they need. This insight helps explain why certain cultures seem to age so differently. In Okinawa, Japan, a place famous for its healthy centenarians, their traditional evening meals, purely by custom, contain nutrient combinations that are scientifically perfect for supporting overnight muscle repair. Their elders are often agile and strong deep into their 90s. When I first read this research, I was a bit cynical. If it was this simple, why wasn't every doctor telling their older patients? The answer, as it often does, became obvious when I examined the economics. The industry built around age-related frailty, mobility aids, and treatments for sarcopenia is a global machine worth over $50 billion a year. There is almost no profit in teaching people how to use simple, powerful foods to stay strong. My personal path to this truth started years ago at the Shaolin Temple, where I studied with Master Wu. At 92, he moved with a grace and power that would humble men a third of his age. His resilience seemed to defy biology. I asked him for his secret, expecting a complex answer about training or rare herbs. He smiled and spoke about aligning with the body's rhythm through evening nutrition. The body is a wise builder, he told me. At night, it rebuilds the house you lived in all day. If you only give it sand when it needs stone, the walls will crumble. That simple analogy launched me on a decade-long quest, studying traditional diets from Chinese medicine to Ayurveda to Mediterranean blue zones. I was looking for the common thread in how the world's most vital elders ate in the evening. A clear pattern emerged. They all consumed specific nutrient combinations before sleep, creating what science now confirms is the ideal state for muscle regeneration. It wasn't until I collaborated with nutritional scientists at the Copenhagen Longevity Institute that we could map the precise biological mechanisms. Using advanced muscle biopsy and 24-hour metabolic tracking, we saw with our own eyes how these specific foods transform the body's ability to synthesize protein during sleep, the very process of rebuilding muscle. The findings were stunning. Over 6 months, participants on the nighttime nutrition protocol showed up to a 34% increase in muscle protein synthesis during sleep compared to the control group. This wasn't just a number on a chart, it translated into more muscle, more strength, and more independence. Now, timing is everything. For this to work, you must respect your body's internal clock. The magic window for eating these muscle-saving foods is between 30 and 90 minutes before you go to sleep. This gives your body time to start digestion, but ensures the nutrients are flooding your system during the peak hours of deep sleep and repair. I've seen so many people miss this critical point. They eat too early, and the nutrients are gone before the main repair cycle kicks in. Or they eat too late, and active digestion disrupts their sleep. Both are mistakes. The sweet spot is when the arrival of these nutrients perfectly syncs with your body's surge of human growth hormone and cellular repair. It's like a perfectly timed pit stop in a race. Get the timing right, and you come out stronger and faster. Get it wrong, and you lose ground. With that crucial piece in place, let me reveal the 4 foods that, when combined in this window, create the ultimate biological environment for protecting and rebuilding your muscle as you age. The first pillar of this strategy might be a surprise, as it has been unfairly vilified in many senior nutrition guides. Yet, it is the single most potent tool for overnight muscle protection. It is high-quality, slow-digesting casein protein. You find it naturally in foods like cottage cheese and Greek yogurt. Unlike whey protein, which gives you a fast, short burst of amino acids, casein is different. It acts like a slow drip of fuel for your muscles, releasing its building blocks steadily over 6 to 8 hours. This unique slow-release quality is precisely what makes it invaluable for sleep, a time when your body needs a marathon of support, not a sprint. A landmark study in the Journal of Nutrition showed that consuming 40 grams of casein before bed boosted muscle protein synthesis by a staggering 22% during sleep compared to a placebo. For an older adult, this means a tangible defense against muscle loss over time. Participants who followed this for 6 months lost significantly less muscle than their peers, no matter how much they exercised. Casein's secret weapon is its high concentration of an amino acid called leucine. Leucine is the ignition key for muscle protein synthesis. As we get older, we need more leucine to turn that key. While a young person might need about 1.7 grams, a senior might need 2.5 to 3 grams to get the same engine to start. A good serving of casein-rich food delivers that exact amount. My student Robert, a former runner who was heartbroken watching his powerful legs weaken, started a simple nightly routine of casein-rich cottage cheese. After just 3 months, he told me the flight of stairs in his house was no longer his enemy. "It's more than physical," he said. "It's getting back the feeling that my body is still my own." The second piece of the puzzle tackles the silent saboteur of muscle in older adults: chronic inflammation. While a little inflammation is a healthy signal for repair, a constant, low-grade fire inside your body grinds the muscle-building machinery to a halt. This is why the second essential food is wild tart cherries, either whole or as a concentrated juice. These incredible fruits are packed with compounds called anthocyanins, which are like a fire department for your cells, proven to cool inflammatory markers and reduce oxidative stress. A study in the Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and Science in Sports found that athletes who drank tart cherry juice before bed had remarkably less muscle breakdown overnight. This is doubly important for seniors because the aging process itself naturally turns up our baseline level of inflammation. This constant inflammatory hum creates a headwind against any effort to preserve muscle. By calming that inflammation at night, tart cherries give your body's repair crew a peaceful environment to work in. As a bonus, tart cherries are a rare natural source of melatonin, the hormone that governs your sleep-wake cycle. Deep quality sleep is non-negotiable for muscle repair. By both improving sleep and fighting inflammation, tart cherries provide a 1-2 punch in support of muscle health. I saw this powerfully in my work with veterans, many of whom face a dual battle with poor sleep and rapid muscle loss. One man, James, had tried everything for his sleep, but his strength kept fading. After adding tart cherry concentrate to his nightly routine, his sleep improved dramatically, but more importantly, he started holding on to the strength gains he made in physical therapy. For the first time in a decade, he told our group, "I feel like I'm building." The third vital component fixes a deficiency that plagues an estimated 80% of seniors and directly cripples muscle function: magnesium. This mineral is like a master foreman, overseeing more than 300 critical processes in the body, including protein synthesis, nerve communication, and energy creation. As we age, our ability to absorb magnesium plummets due to gut changes and common medications. This is a perfect storm. Your body needs more magnesium to maintain muscle, but it's getting less from your food. The results are often dismissed as just aging: muscle cramps, constant fatigue, and a swift decline in strength. Dark leafy greens like spinach are nature's magnesium treasure chests and are a perfect fit for your pre-sleep ritual. Just one cooked cup of spinach can provide nearly 40% of a senior's daily magnesium needs in a highly usable form. What makes magnesium so critical at night is its power to activate your body's rest and repair system, the parasympathetic nervous system. When this system is engaged, your body shifts resources away from stress and toward regeneration, including muscle repair. Magnesium also helps control cortisol, the stress hormone. When cortisol is high at night, it actively blocks muscle building. I think of Martha, 78, who was told her constant leg cramps and weak grip were just her new reality. After we added magnesium-rich foods to her evening meal, her cramps vanished, but she also started regaining functional strength. My doctor couldn't believe it at my checkup, she told me. He asked what new drug I was on. He was speechless when I said it was spinach. The fourth and final piece supports the part of your muscular system everyone forgets: the connective tissue. This is the scaffolding, the network that allows your muscles to actually do their job. Collagen is the main protein that builds this framework for your muscles, tendons, and ligaments. As we age, collagen production nosedives. This doesn't just affect your skin, it weakens the entire structural integrity of your body. This is why bone broth or other collagen-rich foods are a critical nighttime ingredient. They provide the specific amino acids, glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, that your body uses as the raw materials for new collagen. These amino acids are especially useful at night to support what scientists call tissue architecture maintenance. It's about maintaining the very structure that allows your muscles to be strong. Research in the British Journal of Sports Medicine showed that participants who took collagen peptides before sleep had significantly better preservation of muscle function than those taking other proteins. The difference is that collagen supports the entire system, the mortar and the bricks, not just the bricks themselves. For seniors, this means a real-world difference in functional strength, the kind you need to live independently. Emily, 83, from our nutrition study, began drinking a small cup of bone broth each evening. She later reported, with tears in her eyes, that she could get up from her favorite armchair without using her hands for the first time in 5 years. "It's not about being a bodybuilder," she said. "It's about moving through my own home with confidence." What makes this four-part system so powerful is the synergy. The components amplify each other. The slow-release protein delivers the building blocks. The tart cherries create the right anti-inflammatory conditions. The magnesium flips the master switch for repair, and the collagen reinforces the entire structure. Together, they form a complete, multi-pronged strategy for muscle preservation. The application is simple. About an hour before bed, have a small meal, a small bowl of Greek yogurt or cottage cheese for the casein, a splash of tart cherry juice, a side of lightly steamed spinach, and a warm cup of bone broth. It takes minutes to prepare, but it provides hours of targeted, muscle-saving nutrition while you sleep. The simplicity is the point. The best health strategies are the ones you stick with. I have coached hundreds of seniors with this exact protocol, and the results are undeniable. They don't just see improvements in strength, they report a profound upgrade in their quality of life. From deeper sleep and better mobility to a renewed sense of self-reliance. Now, I have to dismantle the myth that has stopped so many from trying this: the fear of eating before bed. For decades, we've been warned that nighttime eating leads to poor sleep, digestive issues, and weight gain. This oversimplified advice has caused immense damage by creating a nightly nutritional famine for aging bodies precisely when they need fuel the most. The truth is more intelligent. It's not if you eat, it's what you eat. The 4 foods I've described were chosen specifically because they support sleep and provide the exact tools for overnight repair. In fact, research from the Netherlands Sleep Medicine Institute found that the right pre-sleep nutrition actually enhances sleep quality by keeping blood sugar stable and providing amino acids that help regulate sleep cycles. Participants who had protein-rich, anti-inflammatory evening snacks like the ones I recommend slept better and longer than those who fasted. This reveals a tragic irony in conventional health advice. The very thing we were told to do for our health, avoiding food before bed, is a direct contributor to the accelerated muscle loss we so desperately want to prevent. While this 4-part foundation is universally effective, your individual journey requires mindful awareness. I teach my students to keep a simple journal: what they ate, how they slept, their morning energy levels, and weekly notes on their strength. This creates a feedback loop, a conversation with your own body that allows for fine-tuning. Some may find they need slightly smaller portions. Others may discover a specific timing, say 90 minutes before bed instead of 60, works best for them. The core principle is unchanging: fuel your body's nightly repair, but the application can be personalized. This honors your unique biology, a stark contrast to the one-size-fits-all edicts often handed down to seniors. Your body is the most sophisticated guide you will ever have if you just learn to listen. The journal is how you listen. I think of Thomas, a 79-year-old retired professor who loved data. He tracked everything. After 3 months, he determined his personal sweet spot was 90 minutes pre-bed, and that warming his cottage cheese slightly improved his digestion. These small tweaks yielded huge returns. For the first time, he told me, "I feel like I'm a partner with my aging body, not its opponent." Before I share my final, most crucial insight, let's be real about implementation. I know the hurdles. First, consistency beats perfection. If you miss a night, don't worry. But making this a routine, like brushing your teeth, is what unlocks the profound cumulative benefits. Second, quality is key. Your body knows the difference between high-quality ingredients and cheap substitutes. Opt for organic, grass-fed dairy, unsweetened cherry juice, organic greens, and quality bone broth when you can. Third, be patient. You might feel better sleep in days, but the real strength benefits are built over weeks and months. The most amazing transformations I've seen happen between the 3 and 6 month mark as the nightly investment in muscle preservation starts paying visible dividends. Judith, a woman who joined our program feeling defeated by her own frailty, said it best after 4 months. It's like tending a garden. You don't see the growth day to day, but then you look back at where you started and you realize you're living in a completely different landscape. And now, for the insight that can change not just your muscles, but your entire experience of getting older. This is the truth that underpins everything I've shared. The story we are told about aging, that it is a fixed, relentless path of decline, is not just wrong. It's a lie. It's a story that steals our power. What modern science is proving is that while aging itself is a reality, functional decline is largely a result of how we live, not just how long we've been alive. Your body possesses an incredible ability to regenerate, to repair, and to preserve function deep into old age, but only if you give it the right conditions. This nighttime protocol is one of those conditions. This isn't just positive thinking, it's documented physiology. The power of this understanding is that it hands control back to you. Decline is not something you must passively accept. It is something that responds to your choices, including the simple choice of what you eat before you go to sleep. This mental shift is the most powerful anti-aging tool in the world. When you realize you can influence how you age, you stop being a victim of time and become an active participant in your own vitality. I see this transformation in my students, and it goes far beyond their physical strength. They start planning for the future with optimism, not dread. Robert, the former runner, captured it perfectly at one of our follow-up meetings. Realizing I could change how my body was aging didn't just change my legs, he said. It changed my entire outlook. I stopped preparing to be old and started planning to stay capable. That is everything. The final truth I want to leave you with is this: your body's capacity to heal and maintain itself does not have an expiration date. It has conditions. The 4 bedtime foods I've shared are more than just a diet tip. They represent a rebellion against the cultural narrative of inevitable decline. When you choose to eat these foods before sleep, the casein, the cherries, the greens, the collagen, you are doing more than nourishing your muscles. You are casting a vote for a different future. You are taking your power back. This simple act has helped thousands of people reclaim a strength they believed was gone for good. but its true value lies in the mindset it cultivates. When you feel with your own body how these choices create tangible results, you build an unshakable belief in your own agency. That confidence fuels more positive action, which creates more strength, which leads to more engagement with life. It is the perfect virtuous cycle, the complete opposite of the downward spiral we've been told is our fate.